So we are getting to the end of LiveX 2022, and I'm at the bridge at MS Quest, who have been a part of the expedition, and I invited some of the partners at the project from academia. People might wonder, what does academia have as a role in the ARCSAR project? I'll start with you.
Yes, my name is Robert Brown. I'm at the School of Maritime Studies at the Marine Institute and Memorial University of Newfoundland in Canada.
You almost forgot where you were from. This is such a global project.
Yeah. This is, I think, my fifth trip to Svalbard, and I've been involved in various other SARXs before. I study emergency response in maritime sector specifically, and I've been doing a lot of focus on the Arctic. Canada, of course, has a very large Arctic, and I get involved in exercises there, and I'm lucky enough to be invited to be part of this as well.
We'll get back in a moment to your role in the project, because I remember you had a number of cameras placed around the exercise today, and I'd like you to talk a little bit more about what you were expecting of collecting data.
Yes.
But we also have somebody representing Norwegian University here.
Hi, my name is Natalia Andreasen. I am representing Norwegian University, which is located, the main campus is located in Bodø. And
So what is your role in the project?
so I am working with education and research within emergency management. So we are here because of that. We are very much working with emergency management exercises and competence development for practitioners within emergency.
And practitioners, yes, you actually got involved. For those that haven't seen it yet, I will advise them to look at the aftermath of that exercise, because you participated yesterday and volunteered in one of the parts, didn't you?
Yes, I was. Actually, it is very valuable for us to be involved in some practice, because we are academia and might be a little bit too theoretical sometimes. But it's great that we can support the research, and we can support the developers of innovations. And so it's our future.
And I remember that this initiative also has had a number of meeting places. And in Portsmouth, for those that were visiting earlier this year, you also were participating.
Yes, we had a workshop. I am Ashraf Labib. I am a professor at the University of Portsmouth. And my role is looking at risk and resilience and learning from failures. So it's really reflecting on this particular case study and trying to generalize, okay, what can lessons be learned on reflection, if something even larger than that can happen. The specific interest we have in Portsmouth is in modeling the thinking or the decision-making process, how you prioritize and communicate and setting the responsibilities.
Were you the one who were invited to your own freezer at the university during the visit? I remember there was a guided tour at Portsmouth that somebody could visit a sort of a cold chamber to experience that.
Yes, we have one of my colleagues, Professor Mike Tipton, and he does lots of work with the Coast Guards, American Coast Guard and the British, and looking at how the survivability of people at certain very cold temperature or very hot temperature. And we have a very advanced lab that can test different conditions. Yeah.
And increasing the survival rate is also something that you are interested in, because I know that getting more situational awareness in the Arctic is something you are very interested in.
Yes, I am. I'm Mr. Mattila from Laura University from Finland, and indeed we are interested about developing some kind of better overlook about what's really happening around of the vessel in distress, and the captain to manage the situation better. Things are developing in Arctic very much, and we are going to soon have this wideband internet connection all over the Arctic. This means that you can use different tools what you use today, and developing about the procedures concerning about the new tools you need to kind of do the research.
Because right now there is a lack of coverage. I remember when I saw a lot of the attendees on this expedition counted some 50 people. As soon as we got close to Longyearbyen, everybody was, okay, no coverage, no coverage, no coverage. And then back an hour later, they had coverage. So why is it so challenging to actually find coverage in the Arctic region?
You know, the satellites are positioned in the way that up to the 75 degrees you are kind of able to use the internet connection in Inmarsat-C, but after that you are out of the satellite coverage. But now there is a new system in the low orbit coming up, so that there are plenty of satellites passing by fast in this area, and you can be connected to them as you do it in the Baltic or in the Mediterranean. So we can have a totally different awareness, understanding what we have today.
So the technology is one thing, but Rob, you also interested in the behavior of people actually that are on the ship, and they are not necessarily relying on new technology, because you've been monitoring how they actually behave today.
Yes, yeah, we do a lot of research that relates to the evacuation process, how people respond to alarms, and where they go, and how quickly they move, if they move. And we're also involved in a lot of work to try and characterize the rescue, the response process. So how long do the different stages take? What variability is there in each of the stages, and how does that play into the overall rescue time? Because of course in the Arctic there's an expectation by the Polar Code that people may need to survive for 5 days. And if our response can be faster than that, well, that's a really important thing.
So how are we going to get there?
I can tell.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
You know, I had a Coast Guard background. I'm a captain myself in my previous tasks, and when I entered to the service in '84, the procedures and the means to survive, they're totally different. So something has happened in these 30 years. So
What's the most important thing that has happened in 30 years, do you think?
I think it's treating the passengers more close, not just a kind of thing. They are something you need to be taken care of. So somehow, and the way the procedures what are developing in the rescue plan in the vessels, they are always getting better and better. So the research is that for this rescue plan development, and they are not stable. They are next year different, according to the experiences what we get from the exercises like this.
Exciting. Ashraf, I see that you have a comment here.
And also one of the work packages within this project that we are responsible for is the uptake of technologies. So what is the emerging technologies and what is the current uptake of it? So for example, it was very interesting today's exercise how you can utilize mobile phones, that you can be a source of capturing people and so on. So there are also quite few technologies, and that we will be interested to see how this can go into actual practice.
So let's look into the magic bowl and have our dreams come true, and say that in 5 years we will meet back here on the bridge at the Quest, and it's still as beautiful ship as it is today, and you had one wish coming through. What would it be to increase the survival rate in the Arctic? Oh, that's a trick one.
Communication between other vessels. When you are out in the Arctic, the neighboring vessel might be far away, and there's no Coast Guard stations around to help you very fast. You are quite alone. If something happens, you need to understand who is and where they are, what is the capacity, etc., and what is the possibility to get the help in case of grounding, for example. So that's why I think when you understand better the situation, you can get helped much easier.
Rob is nodding.
Yeah, I think
he likes that.
I do like that, and I think communication also, when it comes to understanding how many people are in distress and particularly where they are, ties in nicely with that.
And then they need to communicate. And what do you think?
I totally agree with these issues, and I also think that coordination between and among organizations, and especially in different sectors of emergency responders and industry, would do this communication work smoother.
Final word from Ashraf?
Yeah, I think also the communication of risk, because the risk is a very elusive world, and if we can utilize the current information in a very transparent way, and make the decision maker. They really assess risk in a very effective and efficient way. I think that would be the way forward.
And I see there's a last word coming from the left here. I think there is room for that. Oh yeah, no worries.
Words. So I think also in 5 years we will look at the exercise concept with totally different eyes. We will look at this exercise as one piece of the whole of the different TTXs that we've been to. There will be a lot of simulation exercises in laboratories and many live exercises to try it all.
Can I say one last word as well?
There's room for more in the tape.
Yeah. You know, when I started my maritime career, and when I compare this spaceship here, you know, there's a lot of monitors, a lot of equipment, and a lot of new technologies, what we couldn't even dream of in that time in the 80s. So now something is developing. We are bringing more stuff to the bridge, and one day there might be too much to look at, and that we need to go to the simplifying the procedures in order to make a good decision making of it.
So you want the right information to the right people at the right time.
Exactly.
Yeah, and simple way.
Yes, exactly. Well, I think that's actually the end. I think actually it's time for your last meal on board the MS Quest. LiveX 2022 has come to an end. Thank you for joining us for this session as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
We